Emotional control. Let's talk about it. Hi everyone, I'm Ambi. Welcome to your Daily Dose of Ambition. Thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I definitely recommend doing that, especially if you are into self-improvement topics and if you are about self-love, growth mindset, spiritual healing. We're going to be covering a lot of that on this channel. I will be posting a new video weekly. I don't have a set day of the week yet, but definitely expect a new video every week, and so you don't miss that, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's dive into it. Emotional control is being able to control our emotions in difficult situations. Difficult situations that could arise could be, for example, dealing with family members that are a little bit on the negative side. They could show narcissistic characteristics. They can be manipulative. They can be gaslighting and make it very difficult for us to maintain emotional control. Also in the workplace, if you are dealing with a manager that doesn't really respect your personal time, they're constantly asking you to work outside of your schedule, outside of your availability, especially knowing if you have other things going on, other commitments such as school or family. It could be difficult to maintain emotional control in those situations. But more often than not, we lose emotional control within our relationships, because when we are in relationship with somebody, we are taking two separate people, two separate lives, and we are trying to make them into one. So that can be a little messy and a lot of things can come up. Now, when we lose emotional control, that comes out in the form of anger. And if you missed my last video, we kind of dived into how anger is a secondary emotion and where it derives from. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, you can click the link right here and check that out. Now, when we lose emotional control and it comes out in anger, it is usually because that anger is being derived from fear or sadness. And when we lose emotional control, we tend to be more reactive than understanding of what exactly is going on. So an example of losing emotional control in your relationship could be something along the lines of your partner disrespecting your boundaries, disrespecting the rules that were established when you both came into relationship. And every relationship is different. Every relationship has a different set of relationship rules. So this example might not exactly fit your personal relationship and your rules, but definitely you can learn something from this and apply it to your own life. But for this video and for this example, we're going to say that so you're out with your partner, you're at some kind of public event, whether it be like a party, a wedding, you guys are just hanging out at the bar, something along those lines, and you're kind of off doing your own thing for a little bit, and you see them doing their own thing, but you kind of look over and you notice they're getting a little too close to somebody, getting a little too flirtatious, and it's kind of going against those boundaries, those relationship rules that you set. So you can start to feel like jealous, you can start to get a little angry, and that's kind of derived from, let's say, the fear of you possibly losing your partner, or the sadness of them breaking those rules and breaking that boundary, especially right in front of you. So what are we doing in this situation so we don't cause a scene, so we don't just like run right over and like start tearing our partner's head off? You know what I mean? What do we do? So there is a couple ways that we can go about handling our emotions in these kinds of situations. The first thing you want to do is to focus on your breath, on your breathing, because when we are getting mad, we are filled with this rush, with this adrenaline, and our breathing is super fast and it's very shallow, and with that kind of breathing, we're kind of building up more anger inside of us. It's a very angry kind of breathing. So the first thing we need to do is we need to calm that down, so then we can calm down the thoughts, and then so we can approach our partner in a calmer way. Now, how do we calm our breathing in the moment? Well, there's a little bit of an exercise that we're going to do, and I call it the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rule. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale 5 times and exhale 5 times. So it's going to be a slower, more mindful kind of breath. You can hold it in for, I'll say, about 6 seconds. Let it out for 6 seconds. You can go shorter, you can go longer. It totally depends on what's comfortable for you, because you do not want to feel like you're holding your breath for too long, and you don't want to feel like you're like gasping for air. It's supposed to be something to calm you down, cause more stress to the body. So for example, you're just gonna breathe in and out 5 times in a very calm and slow way, and we're gonna start that now. So it goes something like this. You just breathe in and out, in and out, and again, and out. 2 more times, in and out. Once more, in and out. So we're breathing in peace, and we're exhaling that anger, we're exhaling that jealousy, we're exhaling those negative thoughts. We want those to clear out of us, okay? So that's the first thing, is to better control our breathing, so then we can better control our thoughts. So what kind of thoughts are we having in this situation while we're watching our partner do this, while we're watching them, go against the rules and the boundaries? Okay, now our breathing's calm, but these thoughts might still be there. So what thoughts are we having? Well, we can be looking over there and thinking, oh my God, they look so much more comfortable with that person than me. They look happier with them than me. Like, are they happier with them than me? Do they think this person is better? And so an underlying belief underneath all of those thoughts could be along the lines of, you're not good enough, or you're not worthy of love. So the next thing we're going to do is, once we kind of go through exactly what these thoughts are that we're feeling and what that underlying thought, what that underlying belief might be, we're going to ask ourselves, is it true? So if the underlying belief is, we are not good enough, is that true? Is it true that you're not good enough? And before you answer that, I want to let you know that something is only a fact if it is true 100% of the time. Okay? 100% of the time. So are you not good enough 100% of the time? Are you not worthy of love 100% of the time? The answer to that is no. You are good enough, and you are worthy of love. And you don't need another person to validate that for you. You are already good enough, and you are already worthy just by existing, just by being here. You are worthy, and you are good enough. You are good enough in your looks, in your talents, in who you are and what you do. You are worthy in your strengths, and even in your weaknesses too, because within your weaknesses, you kind of learn who you are as a person, and it helps you to better pursue things. You know what I mean? It helps you to better pursue your strengths, and you can always find help in the things that you're weak with. But yeah, I mean, overall, you are good enough, and it's not really another person's opinion or the way they treat you that's going to say whether or not you are good enough or whether or not you are worthy of love. So asking ourselves, is it true? No, it is not true. Okay, so think about different things in your life where you feel good enough. Like, say you're an amazing friend and being around your friends makes you feel good enough. Say you were super successful in something with one of your like goals or your career, things like that, things that make you feel worthy, things that make you feel like you are good enough because you are. I want you to picture those when you are going through this situation. You need to reframe that thought of you not being worthy, that thought of you not being good enough. You need to reframe that. So after you calm your breathing, and you can calm your mind by reminding yourself that this negative belief you're having isn't true, these negative thoughts you're having aren't true. You'll be in a calmer state of mind, and you'll have better clarity. You'll be able to better understand what's going on when you do approach your partner. And you'll be able to approach them in a healthy way rather than a reactive way that's going to make you react in a way that isn't genuine to who you actually are. Because when we get reactive, we tend to become more negative than we are in our natural state. Sometimes we can act out in ways we don't mean, and we can say things we don't mean. So it's extremely important to be able to have a calmer state of mind before you approach the situation. Now, the goal is to have the conversation about what is going on. It's not to calm down and then ignore it, because you want to bring it up. You want to know exactly what's going on, why they did that. And if for whatever reason your partner is doing this and it is meant to be in a hurtful way, it is important that you know that that is completely and totally on them, and it has nothing to do with you. It has 100% to do with how they're feeling about themselves and their belief system as to why they are willing to hurt you in that way. And you need to separate that, and you need to know that it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. But more often than not, if your partner is genuinely in love with you and they genuinely want things to work out, when you approach them in a calmer way, they are going to be more willing to talk to you about it. Say you approach your partner and you go to them with a calmer state of mind, instead of going over there and yelling and be like, why did you do that? Why did you betray me? Why did you go against our relationship rules? Blah, 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 blah. Going at them, like attacking them. You know what I mean? Because if you go over there and you attack them, they're going to get defensive. It's just going to be a natural state. Nobody wants to be attacked or feel like they're being attacked. So they are going to get defensive if you go over there in a reactive way. And with them getting defensive, that's not going to help you feel better about the situation. It's not going to make you feel secure about the situation, because you're going to think there's definitely something going on there because they're getting defensive. And it's going to be a whole miscommunication, misunderstanding. So when we go over there in a calmer state of mind, we're not going to go over there with attitude and attacking and everything like that. We're going to be calmed down. And we're going to be able to approach it in a nicer way by saying something along the lines of, hey, I noticed this was going on and I wanted to ask you exactly what this is. From my point of view, it felt like you were going against our relationship rules. I don't want to make an assumption, and I don't want to think this is something that it's not. So if you can please explain to me what exactly is going on, that way I can have a better peace of mind with everything, so I can better understand it. I would definitely appreciate it. Something along those lines is much calmer than saying, why did you do this? You betrayed me. All of that kind of messy, reactive kind of talk. This is going to invite your partner to be calm with you about it. They might not have even realized what they were doing was crossing a line, was crossing a boundary. You know what I mean? And then you will find out from them exactly what it is. And yeah, so that's basically how you would go about controlling your emotions in that situation. So as you can see, there's a couple different things that you can do when you are in a situation where you feel like you're going to lose emotional control, you can do your 5 inhales and exhales to calm your breathing. You can ask yourself, is it true? And understand that it's not. Reframe the thought that you are thinking. Reframe that belief that you are feeling, so you can have a calmer state of mind and you can approach the situation with clarity. And in that way, you can have an actual conversation instead of just a reaction. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, definitely leave a comment below, leave a like, and actually leave a comment and let me know if you have ever been in a situation where you lost emotional control. Let me know how that went for you, and we can talk about it a little bit more here. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste.